done yet, right? It is my honor to introduce the keynote speaker for today. He's a very friendly man, a very big man too, a very sarcastic man. He spent 8 years in the US, but he decided to come back here. And he's now the Dean of Hotline University. May I now invite Dr. Pham to give you a talk about inspiring Vietnamese youth. Dr. Lộc, please. A round of applause.
Day next year, you would see one of them. That would be a possibility. But let's come to the reality for this year. They invited me and not Bill Gates or Justin Bieber. So who am I? My name is Pham, and I was born in Ho Chi Minh City. I grew up in Ho Chi Minh City, and I went to college in Ho Chi Minh City. I went to the College of Social Sciences and Humanities, to the English department there. I was there for 4 years. Upon graduation, I stayed and worked in the same department where I studied to be a lecturer. And after 5 years lecturing there, I got this scholarship, the Fulbright scholarship for the master's degree in comparative literature. And after 2 years, I thought that that was not enough. 2 years in the United States was too short, so I decided to stay a little bit longer. And the only way I could do that was to apply for a PhD degree at the same university. And luckily, I got the admission to the PhD program in comparative literature with a teaching assistantship. So I was there for another 6 years. And I completed my PhD degree in comparative literature in 2011. So almost 2 years ago. And upon coming back to Vietnam, I decided that Hotline University would be my workplace. And I'm now the Dean of the Faculty of Languages and Cultural Studies of Hotline University. Who here has ever heard of Hotline University? Alright. I'm not here to inspire you to go to Hotline University, even if I've done some cheating of the work. I was at the University of Massachusetts in Amherst. During my, part of the job that I think I would do here today. And as I said, I'm not going to inspire you to go to Hotline University. That's almost impossible because I know you guys have a very big dream of studying abroad, going to Harvard or MIT or some secret university. But let me tell you that no matter wherever you go, no matter what university you're going to, education is the same, or should be the same. Education has the same aims, or should have the same aims. What does that mean? My time is up? Education everywhere in this world should share the same aims, no matter whether it's Hotline or Harvard. So what's the point? What are the aims of education? Why do we need to go to college? Why do we need a college education? What does a college education offer you? We've done a lot of listening this morning, so I'd like the audience to speak up a little bit. Who wants to give the answer? It could be a hard question, but yes, please.
Well, expect a university with students that with open-minded.
To become more open-minded.
Yeah, and cosmopolitan, diversity. Without that, every university is same.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we go to college to accept the fact that the world is a diverse place. Good. Thank you. By the way, some more cheap marketing of Hotline University. We have 7 core values there. One of the core values at Hotline is respect or accept differences. Okay, and we try to teach students to do that at our university. What else? Any other aims of education?
I want to go to college if they help me to do orientation and vision in the future career.
Career.
Yeah.
So you want to have a good job.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the vision will give me to do many things for the country and other people.
Thank you.
So, college education.
Will give you a career. Could I have a different microphone?
This is a little bit loud. Great. Great. What else? Yes? All the way down here.
For me, I actually didn't think that college is that important. I better choose the best life, but I think that college is not the only way. It's the best way. Then you have the environment for you. You can learn, and yeah, you can help your country. You can help yourself. You can help your family. Just the way it is. But for me, I think I choose college too, but I think I'll be more. Likely, I won't study that. Like, oh, I'll be the best student. No, I'll be the most best student.
So, college is not the only way. All right, good. Well, UNESCO has defined 4 pillars of education, 4 aims of education. Why do we need to learn? Education needs to offer students the chance to learn. Learn what? Number 1, we learn to know. Number 2, we learn to do. That's understandable, right? Number 3, we learn to live together. We learn to live together. Number 4, we learn to be. All right? So we learn to know. What do we know? And what should we learn? My 8 years in the United States in the field of comparative literature has taught me some very cool things. First thing that I learned from the United States is that before I can learn anything, I have to unlearn. You have to unlearn before you can learn anything. And this is, what does that mean? It's related to Phow's presentation. That was an amazing presentation. His self-transformation from a hog to who he is today is so inspiring. And I think right after this, I need to go to California, to do some working out to lose some weight. I set myself a goal 5 years ago to lose 5 kilos. And that was not yet, I was not yet successful. That was inspiring. But Pham, I would like to challenge you a little bit more. And that is, when we are labeled by a word or by some positive, some negative name, like a hog, then we would naturally, probably as a sort of natural reaction to that labeling, we would find a way to transform ourselves. So you work out, you did a lot of exercise, so as you could be slimmer, be more fit. But the truth of the matter is, the label is still there. And you're not the one to suffer anymore because you have gone through some self-transformation out of some sort of self-determination. But the labeling is still there. The thing is, how do we change that attitude of ours? You see what I mean? And that simple thing, that labeling requires some process of unlearning. People have learned to know what looks right and what looks wrong. And that knowledge of what is right, what is wrong, is not always right. It's not the truth. Our perception of what is right, of what is wrong, of what looks good, of what looks beautiful, is not the truth. It's a process of learning. So, my point is, it's not just a matter of self-transformation, of self-inspiration, but it's a matter of how we unlearn what we have learned. We have learned that an obese person is some sort of a vehicle of diseases. So men and women would go and risk their lives for some plastic surgery. Shorter women would have to buy high heels to look taller. So we are looking for some remedy for self-transformation. If you look a little short, you buy high heels to look taller. Why don't we just go one further step and change that perception itself? The perception that being short is a shortage, is a disadvantage. And I suggest that you read this book. I have, this book is really inspiring for me. I read it a couple of years ago. I've forgotten the name of the author. The book is Beauty Bias. Beauty Bias. I have a PDF version, the illegal version, by the way, of the book. And if you are interested, I can certainly email it to you. Beauty Bias. It does not just teach you how to transform yourself into a more beautiful person, but it teaches you how to transform the way people perceive appearance, to transform human perception, to transform what we have learned. In other words, to unlearn what we have learned. So, Pham, back to you. I challenge you to do just that. Not just self-transformation, but the transformation of social perceptions, transformation of social labor. You want to say something?
Sure. Say something. Because I didn't have enough time to tell my whole life there. So basically I didn't lose weight because I was insecure about my bad appearance. I lost weight because of my physical condition and my health condition. Like 3 weeks ago when I was still, a bit obese, I still had a lot of friends and I was still confident. So I think, I'm not saying that I changed the minds of a lot of people, but I did change the minds of the people who were around me. And I think that's step one of the challenge, or I hope so.
Thank you. So you have some further steps to go. Great. So, my number one thesis for this morning. We go to college in order to learn. We learn to know. But we also need to know what we don't know. Because knowing what we don't is kind of knowing. It's knowledge itself. And we don't know that we are constrained. We are, we are constrained by what we have already learned. Okay, that makes me nervous. Now, my second point. So we learn to know, we learn to do. What do we do? Okay? During my 8 years in the United States, I kept being asked the same questions again. 2 questions. First of all, people would ask me, hey, good, did you travel all the way from Vietnamese? Yes. Comparative literature, what the hell is that? What the hell are you going to do with that? What have you done to your life? Why literature? I think up to now, I'm the second I am only one of the 2 students who chose to study literature in the United States. Most people would go for engineering, for business administration, for MBA, more fancy stuff. Literature is boring. By the way, before I come to the second question, what do you think of a guy? What image do you have about a guy who studies, or a girl, or just a person who studies literature? What does the word literature mean to you? Romantic. Okay? A romantic person. Literature means romance. What else? A bookworm. I don't know. Sensitive. Okay. Sensitive to what? To beauty? To others' feelings and emotions? Do you have this image of a lonely person reading a book in a room shut out from the outside world, thinking about shit? I mean, literature. I'm sorry, but for many people it's shit. Well, and this is related back to what I've said before, the unlearning process that I have gone through. Literature in the United States is not about any of those things that you just said. It's not romance. It's not loveliness. It's not, it could be sensitivity, but what are you sensitive to when you study literature? Literature in the United States is highly politically and socially engaged. You learn literature, you study literature to see problems around you, not to be detached, but to be engaged. So you would learn literature to see the problems of racism, for example, in the United States, the problems of labeling, for example, the problems of ethnic and sexual discrimination. You learn literature in order to see how homosexuals everywhere in the world are ostracized and are discriminated in many ways. Okay? Literature is not just about romance. It's not love. It's not an understanding, an immense understanding of others' feelings and emotions. But it's this deep understanding of the human problems. And in many ways, human problem, the biggest, the most serious human problem that I have learned through literature is human knowledge itself. Okay? Knowledge has told thousands and generations of people in the world that black is something bad. And that's wrong. Okay? Racism, that's what I'm talking about. So, what I'm trying to say is, thanks to learning literature, I see problems. And seeing problems, that's what inspires me. Now, the second question that people often ask me, why the hell do you come back to Vietnam? What the hell are you going to do with that degree, a doctoral degree in comparative literature? Well, my simple question was, in the United States, upon graduation, if I stayed in the United States, I would have to hunt for jobs. And here in Vietnam, jobs hunt for me. Okay? I know you guys have big dreams. You guys are going to go to different parts of the world for this wonderful education. Beyond any education beyond Vietnam will be great. But at some point, please see the problems that others don't. seeing the problems that others don't see. Come back and help me solve those problems. My life has been a process of seeing problems and trying to solve problems. That's one part, that's one of the pillars of education that I've just mentioned before. Learning to live together and learning to be. Thank you very much.